9mm, 9mm, 3-inch and 4-inch barrel. And what do we have to test today? The Underwood 105 grain maximum expansion rounds. These are kind of interesting bullets because if you look at them, you can see they have little segments that are scored all the way down to the base of the bullet. And what that's designed to do is expand out huge. Kind of looks like a little shuriken when it's done, a little throwing star, except it expands forward, so it's meant to get massive expansion, absolutely massive. This ammunition was donated by Mark C, so thank you very much for that. 105 grain, and it's rated at 1175 feet per second, so not a very powerful round in comparison to a lot of other rounds. Not rated that high, not a plus P or anything like that. So we're going to see what we get when we go through the chronograph. See what kind of velocity and accuracy we're going to get at the same time, and then we're going to go through the Juggernaut box as always, which contains a 1 3/4 inch pack of bologna covered by 4 layers of denim, followed by 1/4 inch medium density fiber board to kind of simulate ribs or sternum on a body, and then into water jugs to catch that projectile. So what will we get with the maximum expansion ammunition through the 3-inch and the 4-inch barrel? Should be interesting to say the least. So let's get started with the test. Alright, first up is the 4-inch barrel. We are 5 yards from the target, about 4 yards from the chronograph. We'll see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get with 105 grain maximum expansion out of the 4-inch barrel. 1120, 1108, 1083, 1090, 1118. So below rated velocity for sure. So not very powerful, but very easy to shoot round out of this pistol. Almost no recoil at all. I'll see how the 3-inch barrel compares. 3-inch barrel. Whoop, that's not good. Got a little bit of a feed jam there. It's probably just me not slingshotting the slide enough, but we'll see what we get. 3-inch barrel. 1055, 1049, 1056, 1034, 1046. So pretty decent velocity. That first shot was just me. I haven't shot this gun in a while, so I wasn't gripping it very good, but pretty consistent velocity at least. Now let's see what happens when we hit the Juggernaut box. It should be interesting because it's not a very powerful round, yet it's supposed to expand huge. That to me says probably a lack of penetration, but we'll see what we get. So let's get started with that part of the test. Alright, 4-inch barrel. Don't expect much penetration, but hopefully that fiber board will give us some sign of what's happening. Maybe it's expanding very early on, I'm not sure. Let's see what we get in the 4-inch barrel. And again, just so very easy to shoot. There's a lot of damage to the bologna pack. And like I was thinking, there's just a gigantic hole out the back of that fiber board. A lot of damage to the bologna pack, and it looks like a lot of damage to the first jug. Let's see what we got in water jugs. First jug has just a huge amount of damage. Looks like the damage we see with rounds that are closer to 400 foot-pounds of energy with a lot of expansion. So, a lot of damage for the amount of energy it was putting out. Jug 2. And we do not have any impacts or dents out the back of jug 2. But there's an entrance hole, and of course the bullet's in jug 2. And basically how it was designed to expand, it did expand. So what I'm seeing with the 4-inch barrels, it looks like the same penetration as a 380 with the initial damage of a 9mm. Pretty interesting. Now let's see how the 3-inch barrel compares. We'll see if it can actually expand this bullet with the lower velocity we're getting. Alright, we'll see if we get in the 3-inch barrel, see if it does the same thing or something different. So here we go. did not have the round fire. There's a round in there, so either it's the last round and it didn't eject, or this is a dud round. So we're going to set this forward for 60 seconds and make sure this isn't a hang fire. And there is a small dimple on that primer, so it did hit. It doesn't look like a full hit though. I'm going to restrike that round. Alright, we'll see if that round fires this time. Here we go. And second strike, it fires. And what we got through the baloney pack and through the fiber board is near identical. It almost looks like a little bit more damage, to be honest, than the 4-inch barrel. It's very interesting that it provides such damage. So I would say, when we look at that fiber board, it's definitely expanding right away. First shot, we hit a little bit low, and there's pieces of fiber board in here. Not quite as much damage. That could be from the impact being a little bit low. Baloney everywhere here, just shredded. Jug 2. And I see a little mark in jug 3, just barely. So it looks like it probably penetrated the same or possibly a little bit more than the 4-inch barrel. And what we got is pretty much the same, not folded back quite as much as a 4-inch barrel from that lack of velocity. So, the elephant in the room, that dud round. Not a good thing necessarily. Diamondback pistol's a decent pistol, so I don't think that that should be an issue with it, especially because they're not hot rounds. If they're super hot rounds, we might be talking primer flow, okay. These are not. These are pretty low end. So why we got a dud on a low end round, I don't know. So could just be that fluke dud. Maybe, maybe not. But for me, when I get that in my initial test, I'm a little bit skeptical of that round. It kind of sours the thought of it being a good round for me. Now what we got through initial damage was really, really good. Very shallow damage immediately, but lack of penetration. So as an overall self-defense round, is this really that great? Probably not. We want a little bit more penetration than that. However, it might be a good round for like inside an apartment, inside a home where you don't want collateral damage. You want something that's going to expand right away. Or maybe even if you wanted to small game hunt with something or you wanted a lot of damage really quick, that might be a good round. But overall, it's a little gimmicky for me. It did well at the initial damage, I'll give it that. But lack of penetration, kind of gimmicky, and a dud round. So would I recommend it? Probably not. However, it does basically what they intended it to do, what they designed it to do. So if you're looking for that, it's a good round. That's what you get today with the Underwood Maximum Expansion 105 grain. That's a mouthful. And as always, thank you to Mark C. for donating this ammunition, and thanks for watching.